Mr. Phiri to convene a meeting or attend a meeting. I was not in any way giving him authority or delegating him responsibility, a duty to deploy any ad hoc services. So it happens very often, not only with ad hoc services. If you are held up somewhere and there is something important for discussion, you assign whoever to go and attend that meeting, but attending a meeting does not mean I've delegated a duty or responsibility for him to deploy the...
No, that's fair enough. And I'm not going to belabor the point, but your version is that you never delegated him. And
let me take you to the email just before that. And that email and a couple of others demonstrate, at least on my reading, that the overarching purpose of all these email exchanges was ultimately to have a deployment. That one is from Mr. Herman Sikholela. It's at the foot of page 52. It's addressed to, amongst others, you. And it says, do you see it?
I see it.
Yes. Good day. We have responded and forwarded all the information needed by Metro Police Department. We are still waiting for them to confirm deployment. That's what water and sanitation want. It's deployment. And then it says, today I just received the bad report that the Klapperkop water pump station has been badly vandalized during the festives. Mr. Malatji, kindly urgently confirm when you may be able to deploy. So this is about deployment, security, as the sites are vulnerable to further vandalism. And then there's the one about an urgent meeting that you just referred to. I will skip, and by skipping, that's going backwards, because as we discussed this earlier, the emails will start from the bottom up. I will take you to page 44. There again, it's an email from Mr. Sikholela. That's the person I referred to earlier this morning as an engineer. I think he is an engineer, but the important thing is that he's from water and sanitation. Again, he's writing to you, and he says, good day, Mr. Malatji. Attached, find the updated list of security deployment need. So it's on the basis of the repeated reference to deployment, that I'm saying what's overarching here is deployment. And then I will next take you to page 43. Now it's you writing, and you are writing to Kwapeng E at Gmail. Who's Kwapeng?
Senior Soup Madishawa, Colonel Madla.
Or Dr.
Madishawa, yes.
Dr. Madishawa. Okay. And you say, good evening. Kindly find request from Mr. Herman from the Department of Water and Sanitation for further handling. And then you say, please get Phiri to run with the process and let's monitor progress. Bear in mind that throughout, the overarching purpose is deployment, deployment, deployment. So Mr. or Major Phiri says this is what instructed him to deploy. in context, that does appear to make sense, or that does seem to make sense. Do you care to comment?
My comment is starting with me ordering Mr. Phiri to attend the meeting.
Let's leave the meeting.
Okay.
You've discussed that with Mrs. Kakane. Let's leave that.
Okay. It is not true that by instructing them to run with the process, I was meaning that they should continue deploying security, because they themselves know very well that in order for deployment to be carried out, right, there must be a...
Are you going to refer to the SOP again?
Exactly, right?
And it starts with what? With the request from the relevant department?
Exactly, and
Which there was here. There are repeated requests.
yes,
And Mr. Sekholela goes so far as to say there's continuing vandalism. So there is a request.
yes, Commissioner, I agree with you. There is a request, but that request, it runs short of critical information that is necessary for both of us to comply with the SOP that I alluded to earlier on. There shall be no deployment done unless the department requesting security has committed funds to service the deployment. Number two, the department...
As you sit there, are you able to say no funds had been committed as you sit there? Or are you making an assumption?
At this point in time, at the point when we were communicating,
As you sit there now, are you saying funds were not committed? Or are you making an assumption that they were not?
No, if my memory serves me well, there were no funds committed at that point in time.
Okay, continue.
So, apart from the issue of the funds, the SOP requires it of us to make sure that there is a critical element of the... For how long are we requesting this ad hoc services, right? So it was imperative for us through Phiri Madlanga, right, to have those things before a decision could be taken to deploy security. So if I go, having gone through this, right, I do not see anywhere where they came back to me with...
You couldn't sit and fold your arms and wait for them to come back to you, not when Mr. Sekholela had repeatedly asked for urgent deployment, and not for the sake of it. He says in so many ways that there is continuing vandalism and that the Klapperkop reservoir has recently been vandalized. You couldn't sit and fold your arms. So if you interpret the sentence that says, please get Phiri to run with the process and let's monitor progress. If you interpret that sentence differently from Mr. Phiri's interpretation, what became of that process and your monitor? What became of that? Because if you never did anything that saw that process to the end, we may well be forced to interpret this in the same manner as Major Phiri does. Because from your answer, you seem to suggest that you just sat and waited for them to come back to you and tell you what happened eventually. If that's what you did, Or at least if that's what you say you did, we may be inclined to interpret this email in the same way as Major Phiri. Your comment? Or maybe let me ask this first. Did you do anything after this email? If you did, what did you do?
Commissioner, I did not sit. I've been engaging with Phiri and Malishava about the budget issue, right? The budget issue, because the directive is very clear. Whether there is vandalism, that is...
Where's the record of that? Throughout we have emails, you yourself have been writing. If you'll suddenly say to us that I suddenly engaged orally, that will be very odd in the context of what was happening here. Emails were being exchanged. Where's an exchange, an email exchange that shows that beyond this point you did engage?
Commissioner, can I say this, if it is allowed?
Yes.
Right. I did not buy, I did not instruct or delegate.
That's not what I'm asking you. That's not what I'm asking you. I said, you have said Phiri must run with the process and let's monitor progress. So I want to see the progress. I don't want you to answer whether you in fact gave an instruction. That's not what that's not where I am right now. I want to see what you did beyond this email. What did you do, if anything at all? And if you say it was oral, that will be hard to believe, because throughout and up to this point, you were all engaging each other by way of email. What did you do beyond this point, if anything at all?
From record perspective, it is clear that there were no further communications. But the absence of that does not necessarily mean I gave either Phiri or Malishava.
Again, I'm not asking you whether you gave an instruction or not. I'm saying, or I'm asking, did you do anything at all beyond this email of the 9th of January 2025 at 8:49 p.m.? Did you do anything at all? No, I'm looking at a wrong one. I'm looking at, the date is still the same, the 9th of January 2025 at 20:45. Your email to Wapeng E. That's the email in which you say, please get Phiri to run with the process and let's monitor. So I'm saying, beyond that email, did you do anything at all? If you did, what did you do?
Commissioner, it is on record now, right? There is no email indicating what was done, but...
I'm not asking about whether there is an email. What, if anything at all, did you do, Director?
Commissioner, I'm struggling to get the right weight, right? I've issued an instruction. They must run with the process. Running with the process, meaning to do due diligence. They did not come back to me, right? Yes. The commissioner is saying, what did you do?
Yes, I want to know what you did. Because you cannot say, once I gave the instruction that Phiri must run with the process, then you waited and did nothing at all. You yourself actually say in this, you must monitor progress. So you yourself undertook to monitor progress. So what, if anything at all, did you do after you had written this email? I'm asking this question for the umpteenth time now.
Commissioner, I know from where I am sitting and where the commissioner is sitting, what will convince the commissioner is something in black and white, because
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be in black and white. But of course, I will say, if you suddenly say it was oral when everything else was through emails, we may be inclined we may be inclined to find it hard to believe. But I'm not confining you to emails. What, if anything at all, did you do after this email?
allow me, Commissioner, to put it on record again, right? I've issued my subordinates with,
You're supporting what?
I issued my subordinates,
Subordinate. I
yes,
thought you were
with an
saying
instruction, right? They had a duty, let alone me having to prove. They had a duty to come back to me and say, this is how far we've gone, so that I could evaluate, right, whatever they say they have done.
That cannot be enough. That cannot be enough. You have also undertaken to monitor progress. So if they do not come back to you, you too have a duty to monitor. So that means you going back to them and asking them what's going on with the instruction I gave. So it's not enough for you to basically you are saying, in the face of vandalism that was taking place, in the face of several requests by Mr. Herman Seholela, you just sat and folded your arms and waited for people who were not coming back to you to come back to you.
I do not agree, Commissioner.
Yes.
I don't agree.
Yes.
The reason why I am not agreeing,
What exactly do you not agree with?
I'm not agreeing with the fact that I just sat, folded arms, and waited my subordinates to respond.
I'm saying that because you said they had an obligation or a duty to do the things that you are referring to, and to then come back to you, and they never did. My understanding of that is that you are basically saying because they never came back to you, you too did not do anything.
I think I will not be able to satisfy the Commissioner on this one in terms of my response, but the long and short of my response with regard to deployment, right? I've never instructed both to continue with deployment of security.
Thank you. I'll close by saying again, that's not my question, but I will leave it there.